Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, where we have info on the upcoming Summon Rush event. It's a summoning event for this weekend. It doesn't show it here. Actually, it does. Earn Demon Points, Demon Slayer Titan event. This is part of the Titan event, and there's also mythical tomes, relic fragments in there as well. So expect it to be quite a hefty Summon Rush. Probably 10k points or something with all of this stuff in there. They do like their expensive events. But what are the champions? Here we go. These are the champions going to be involved. Starts tomorrow, the 20th of June, Friday. And it is these. We've got Balor the Lost, who's new. Prince Chimera, Stock the Broken, Bad Alcazar. So it's poisons, right? Theodore the Savant. And then from the Voids, we have Supreme Kale, Venus, and Chigurh. For the Epics, we've got Steel Skull, Aishma, and Dalaja. And then we've got for the Voids, Akemptum and Uragrim. Overall, I'd say this is a decent set of champs, but not amazing. Let's take a look. Prince Balor, I am not sure how good this champ. I think for progression, this champ is fantastic. I don't know if this champ has strong endgame potential. Basically does effective. It's all single target attacks, single target damage, but effectively does 3 poisons AoE and can then activate all poisons AoE as well as placing AoE leech. Single target poison sensitivity gives himself a shield. He gets more ignore defense every time he activates poisons, up to 20%. He gets turn meter. Interesting. He also gives you increased accuracy on your whole team, and he does decrease resist on the entire enemy team. Really, I mean, reminds me a lot of sort of Supreme Kale combined with sort of like a Theodore the Savant. But I don't know if he's going to be as useful as Theodore. And Supreme Kale has never been massively useful, at least for endgame. Now, for progression, it's amazing, right? You're trying to progress through Chimera or Faction Wars hard. He's going to do great damage. He's going to massively reduce your accuracy requirements. He's going to help you stay alive with the leech and the self-shield. He'll do decent damage. He'll be good against bosses as well by ramping up. And yeah, by ramping up and doing probably good single target damage. He's a decent champ, but does he have potential endgame? I'm not sure. For Chimera as well, he opens up a lot of Chimera trials, but I don't know if he's used. So I was actually looking at this out of interest. I can show you a bunch of top Chimera teams. It's the end of the week, right? We can look at Chimera Clash. We lost. Crazy enough, Imperium also just dropped this one, which is insane. Because Imperium, are they not still the number one? Has it changed? The number one overall ranked guild in the game. Oh, they're not. They're number 2 now. They've lost a couple of players, but they're dropping some points this week in Chimera Clash. We're up against, this was a rough clash. Really high-end clans, Gods and Legends, Savage Pandas, Imperium, us. Pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, if we look at like the top teams people are using, it's a lot of the same champions. Now, looking through this, I did see some new stuff. So Theodosia showing up in a few teams is interesting. Mad Hatter actually showing up in a team. There we go. Remember when people said he was a bad fusion? Nubkeks remembers. That's right. Nub Raids remembers. I didn't see it too much, but I remember Boozor got a lot of it. Boozor was like, Mad Hatter's amazing. And I think he got a lot of grief for saying that. And clearly, time has proven Boozor wrong. Wait, no, it's not. It's proven him right. Shocker. Who would have thunk it? But yeah, it's a lot of the same stuff fighty in there. Again, the best epic for Chimera. Varric the Fat. He's absolute Giga Chad. I'm certainly not seeing any of the new guy. Now, here is an example of the team. It's the lowest ranked one here. But believe it or not, from this list, Theodore is actually showing up. And this seems to be a fairly common one, combined with a Riho Bone Spear, Theodore. And yeah, pretty interesting. I think Sacred Pandas, they're doing the same sort of thing. So over here again, Theodosia showing up in their top team. But I was looking through, here we go. Number 4, Panda Main. Panda Main, and he's using this combo. We've got the Fina Galathier to Shiro for damage, and then we've got Riho and Theodore coming in, which is kind of insane. Does 16 trials, a Nightmare, 16 an Ultra Nightmare. There you go. There you go. But yeah, again, Theodore showing up again. Like, these are not low-end accounts. These are literally the best players and best accounts in the game. Again, he's showing up. So Theodore, he's got the potential. Another Theodore. He's like the new hot thing, which I didn't realize till looking into this particular looking into this particular thing. I didn't realize I actually might adopt this team myself. I think this is actually better than mine. So I might actually do that. Bring in Mr. Hatter. It's probably time. I don't have the 6-star ninja, but I might actually switch up my team a little bit. I've been using Lydia. They're using Mad Hatter instead. You get way less trials, but you do more damage. Sort of a useful thing. Yeah, far less trials, but a good bit more damage. Cool. But there we go. So yeah, anyway, this is a long way to say Balor the Lost. I think he's decent. I think he's fantastic for progression. I think he's a bit overhyped as a Chimera champion. And in fact, from within this same list, I'd much rather go for Theodore. Much rather go for Theodore over Balor. I think he's got more proven value. Maybe Balor will prove himself in the future, but Theodore, he's coming in with the AoE double poisons, but also increase and AoE poison sensitivity, but also increase speed for your team. It's an AoE decrease speed. He can increase poison and burn duration and then activate them. He puts out a weaken, but only if they don't have these debuffs, which is very unusual. But the fact that he extends the duration and then activates them means that he doesn't sort of rip through your buffs. And he's better for dungeons, for like soloing stuff. He can blow up HP burn for Spider, that sort of thing. So I think he's a bit more universally useful, to be honest. Bad L is kind of old. Stock is like a better version of Bad L, I think, honestly. Stock's pretty legit. He's got fun passive. I'd give my pick, though, would be Chimera. I would put Chimera first, personally. He will be the one overall to go for if you don't have him. He can spam AoE poisons. We've been doing that a lot in Faction Wars, hard for damage. But he's a good arena champion, like especially in Supersonic. Cut in, remove their buffs, sleep them maybe. And he's got the full reset. If you don't have any reset champion in your account, it really is game-changing. It opens up so many speed runs for so many dungeons. So yeah, I would definitely lean towards Chimera, then Theodore, then probably Balor. Stock and Bad L are fun, but not too crazy. Supreme Kale is very, very like Balor, very like him. He's more AoE damage. Yeah, I've just never found him to be that useful. I've got him, but increase resist, AoE decrease accuracy. He's got AoE 3 poisons that cannot be resisted, which is cool. And he increases enemy debuffs, which can't be resisted. Again, he does a bunch of really cool stuff. I mean, give this chap an Arachne Elixir, and he's going to melt, and like a high lethal dose blessing, he will melt enemies in arena, and they can't resist him either, which is cool. You just need to remove their buffs. But I've not seen him be that crazy, so yeah, I mean, I've seen him do some crazy stuff, but it's kind of hard to set up. Venus is pretty darn great. I put her maybe similar to Theodore, and Chigor is okay. I don't know, is he that good? I'm not a massive fan of Chigor. All of these champions would massively help you on progression, but it's just a question of, like, are you going to pull a bunch of Void Shards for a random sort of Titan event? It's a bit of a hard sell, but they're not bad. Yeah, my main pick would be Venus, would be the most useful. And she's not crazy. She's not a crazy Void. She's just a good Void. AoE decrease defense weaken, AoE burn, single target poisons. You can remove buffs if Cupidus is there. It has been useful for Faction Wars hard. HB in all battles aura. She's good, but she's not crazy. She's just good. So yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on that. Chimera wins. Theodore and Venus are similar. I'm not too sold on the other ones, personally, is my thoughts. For the epic, Steel Skull, Aishma, Dalaja. I think Aishma and Dalaja are both part of the Mikage fusion, so they're fine. Steel Skull is a good epic, helpful for Faction Wars, helpful for Cursed City. Simple kit, but, you know, increased defense with a heal. It's nothing special, but it's handy. Give him the Faultless Defense Blessing, so he reflects a bit of damage. Helps you for some Fire Knight stages in Cursed City. Bit of healing. Really bad chance to poison. Not a good champion by modern standards, but ends up being useful for Skinwalkers as just someone to keep you alive, something they struggle with. Steel Skull's okay, but nothing special. Aishma, Dalaja. Dalaja's probably the best of them. Bit of survivability for Lizards, probably quite good for Faction Wars if you need to use her there. I think she's quite good, right? Continuous heal and a 20% of her max HP shield on everyone on a 4-turn. AoE decrease attack on a 3-turn. She can put out poisons and heal herself on the A1. She counterattacks a lot when lizards are attacked, 50% chance. Again, she's solid, but nothing too special. Akemptum is the big winner here for me, and Uragrim is quite good as well. Uragrim, again, Ogren's a pretty crap faction for Faction War. So look, the AoE poisons with continuous heal on your team is nice. He's got a single target heal with debuff removal, some poisons A1, speed in all battles aura. He's a great solid champion for going through normal dungeons and Faction Wars and Cursed City. He's great. He's very solid. I am a huge fan, though, as you guys, if you've watched my Faction War series, Akemptum, specifically Double Akemptum, he's kind of legit, and he can do some serious work in dungeons as well, like Hard Spider and Hard Dragon, things like that. The reason is, so he puts out AoE Hex very consistently, but then, and he puts some poisons with his A1, and he can spread those poisons with his A1, but the key is his passive, 100% chance to do damage from one poison debuff to enemies under Hex, when their allies take damage from poison. So basically, if I have Hex on all the enemy team and poison on, let's say, the middle guy, when he takes a turn, his poison will now do damage to all of his teammates. The important thing here is this does trigger things like stun set, and that makes it really strong. You saw, again, watch my Faction War series for the Skinwalker stages. Multiple times we used double Akemptum, both of them in stun sets. And they, one of them puts up Hex, the other starts spreading poisons, then they spread each other's poisons, spamming the A1, and then when enemies take turns, it's doing AoE damage to the wave, proccing stun sets like crazy. So you're getting slow but steady wave clear with, tons of control. It's actually super legit. Speed in all battles aura. I'm a big fan of Akemptum. So that's sort of my thoughts on this. I think it's overall a relatively weak event. Like, the regular epics kind of suck, but, pick one you need for the Mikage fusion or grab a Steel Skull if you don't and empower him. It's okay. Looking for a Kymar or a Theodore, or then, Venus, maybe Supreme Kale if your Dark Elves suck, he's okay. I mean, Chigor, they're better than I'm saying. They're okay. And Akemptum's great, Uragrim's great. A couple of good epics there, but yeah, it's a bit meh. I don't know. I'll probably be skipping this one myself. We'll see. I've been doing the Titan event so far. I think I've done everything pretty much, apart from the stuff that's like up now, because we were told not to make any more points over CVC, so I have to stop and stockpile resources. We're trying to burn through that energy now here today. But yeah, I don't know. This one's a bit of a tougher sell. Let me know what you think about it anyway, guys. There we go. Oh, but will we do one Primal Shard for fun for the 10x Karosa? One Primal Shard for fun. Here we go. I believe. This is it. Here she is. It's a rare. That Karosa Wagonbane. Karosa, you look a little different. You're looking a bit funny. She actually saw some use, this champion, for, I think there was some spider tournament where you could use limited factions, and the fact that she came with a decreased defense on the spider actually made her kind of good. I can't remember what that tournament was. Kind of a ridiculous one though. But Wagonbane, the bane of my existence, guys. There we go. Thanks to Wagonbane. Thanks to you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.